Longhorns at half past. Ryan, you and your whole crew were at the game saying so was I.
Yeah.
I had to leave a little early. I get up here, and we got to be on air at 7. Watch the end of the game there as their Longhorns are trying to make a comeback. And I see you throwing T-shirts on my phone or watching on ESPN too. I was with my girlfriend. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be interviewed. He's going to be in our studio.
Yeah.
Ryan's right there." So, how was the game? How was the experience? Moody Center. Was that your first time there?
First time at Moody Center. Awesome place.
Yeah,
right. That arena
dug down into the ground.
Yeah,
there.
fantastic. And they tried to make a comeback.
They did.
You know, it was. I was happy that they made a run before I got out there on the court. Because then the crowd was kind of animated.
Still there,
right? If they were
yeah.
down 20,
Right.
then they would have kind of been
Throwing it
sitting. Sitting.
Do I really want a T-shirt?
I got
at this
hit with
point?
my team's losing. I got hit in the face with a tee.
But it was a blast, man. I loved it. I love watching, live sports, right? I mean, no matter what it is. And college basketball to me is great. And to see the energy. I really want to make it to a Texas football game down here.
Yeah.
One of these times because I heard it's amazing. Energy's great. And, yeah, when they had McConaughey with the Wolf of Wall Street scene before the game, that got me fired up.
Yeah.
Right? That's,
He's
that's a good
in
one.
every game in some form or shape.
Like he's everywhere. I saw his beer at the Moody Center you could buy.
Yeah,
like
McConaughey's.
I see him like at every football game.
That's our
right?
Minister of Culture.
That's the term.
Oh, okay.
It's his
Yeah.
official title. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Minister of Culture.
When the Horns basketball team's going real well, to put him courtside, he'll wear his little leather jumpsuit, pretend he's the coach. It's very cute. Yeah, we're like, you keep doing you, Matt.
Yeah. They're like, well, Matt's coming to a lot of games. We kind of got to give him a title here, I guess, to keep him coming. So that was good.
I believe he's a part owner of the Moody, too.
Or the Moody, he was at one point also a teacher, I feel like, for a master's class to do
doing
with the film industry.
That's a
that'd
good
be
guy.
pretty cool to be a professor there.
Austin kind of really put him on in the 90s with Dazed and Confused, and he stayed very loyal to it. So it's always great to see.
Yeah.
That's kind of the story of the Texas men's basketball team this year is they tried. And that's the most, as long as they don't roll over in any games. And like we said, they've got Trey Johnson, who you saw, probably going to be a potential lottery pick this year. So, it's great that you got to see one of those games.
You could land at your spot, not to poo-poo on your Hornets. I know you're a Charlotte fan for most sports. You brought up also Cleveland Guardians fan, Ohio State, but mostly Charlotte things. That could be a place where he lands. That's a good spot. He will be a lottery pick in my eyes.
We need all the help we can get in Charlotte. So LaMelo can only do so much.
Right.
Yeah.
But the SEC in general, right? This is the first year Texas makes it to the SEC, and I believe they're 11th or maybe now 12th after that loss, and they're still projected to make the tournament, which is crazy at this point.
Really?
Texas is. Yeah. That's how deep this SEC is. Auburn's number 1 in the country. Alabama, I believe, is 3rd or 4th. Kentucky obviously is
Tennessee.
in there. Florida, all these names are just the SEC has emerged, and so time for Texas to join is it's good, but it's very competitive.
It's got to get in the tournament.
Yeah, got to get in the tournament for sure.
2 former Longhorns actually on the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, you do.
Do you have any? Yeah, the running back Jatavion Sanders, tight end Jatavion Sanders, and then running back who is it? Brooks.
Yeah,
Jonathan Brooks. Unfortunately, Brooks came to y'all with a torn ACL. We Warren tore him down here in his final year at UT. He comes back and he tears his ACL, but he is on track to start the season. With how the Panthers finished the year, do you have any optimism as a Panthers fan? It is. Everyone says the NFC South is one of the most winnable divisions.
They started the year rocky, right? And then you're right.
It almost looked like it was over for Bryce Young for a second there.
Yeah, and I did too. But like the last 2-3 games of the year, he looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know if he needed a little bit of kick in the butt, to kind of like, hey, we're going to bench you, for 2-3 weeks. And but I think I have a little bit of hope. I really hope they can win 6 games next year.
6 games.
That'd be a good start.
Right.
And
I
just
think they
then
got to
see
5
where we go.
this year, I believe, which is a decent amount of improvement considering. And now they have their picks finally from that trade they made with Chicago.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, I got to see him play in college. Longhorns actually played him here years ago. He came to Austin. He is a talented guy. Obviously, the size is always going to be questioned, but there was confidence he had last year at the end of the year. You saw, okay, this is the guy that won the Heisman, right? And to be honest, the year prior, his rookie year, he was working with nothing.
Yeah.
Hell, he had 3 different coaches at this point, and he's only been in the league for 2 years. I saw Dave Canales. The show went over to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl, and he was there. He was watching some of the guys, and there was a confidence with him and the GM that I think the Panthers are on the right track. It's only up from there, but I like what I've seen from Bryce Young.
Yeah,
I really like Jatavion Deion Sanders. I know they dealt with injuries, but I feel like they're in a much better place. Although 5 wins, like you said, I think that's a team that can win 7 or 8 games. I think it's on the up.
You look at a Washington team that was projected 5.5, 6 wins last year, so anything can happen. And I do think that Canales has found his footing, and that Bryce can be a guy. We saw it after the benching that he came back, he found some confidence. They're starting to get him some more players. Fortunately, Adam Thielen's not going to be there forever as the safety blanket.
Yeah, he's been unreal at his age.
That guy's just been a workhorse, right? And I mean, you got to just protect Bryce, right? Like the first year he's 100%. Running for his life, right? Every snap. And it's like when you got a guy that's smaller, right, you can't have that, right? You can't expect this guy to just scramble every play, right? You got to have a little bit of safety. But we'll see. Yeah, I hope the best for him. I mean, it's been a rough last handful of years. I mean, really since we had Cam we made the Super Bowl run. So it's been rough ever since then. But hopefully they're on the rise here. Yeah. We'll see.
We got to get one of the Penske owners to buy the team from David Tepper. That might be right. Tepper's temper tantrum.
Yeah, Tepper's not the best, but, hey, you never know. He could wake up one morning and be like, all right, I'm going to do some good, right?
Yeah, but absolutely.
We'll see.
Of those teams, what team do you care the most about?
Honestly, like I probably watched most like Bengals.
Okay.
Another Ohio team.
Yeah,
I'm a big Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah.
Not to be.
I loved watching him, like especially his LSU days.
Yeah.
He was just a badass, and I felt bad for them this year, right? Because like he's putting up just MVP numbers.
Yeah. No question.
After he gets out of that first month of the season, which is the Bengals' Achilles heel.
Yeah, they just gotta get some defense, man. So I'd say I'm probably most passionate about Cincinnati, the Bengals, and hopefully they can figure some stuff out, you know, going into next year because they need to. Because their offense was lights out.
They moved on from the defensive coordinator, Lou Amaruno, and so I do believe they'll be able. But the signs were on the wall for a second there when they let Bates go to the Falcons. They were losing secondary.
Bates,
they were losing secondary plays. But you had the leader in sacks on the defense, which is one of the craziest things to see in training.
Mr. No Gloves himself.
I know.
Yeah, he's badass, man.
I think losing Mixon too hurt them more than
Texans
they thought.
Guy, so thank you very much.
I'm surprised they let him go. I'm surprised. Do you guys know, like, is Higgins coming back?
T. Higgins is the most. When you're going to have to pay the amount of money for Jamar Chase, it seems like it's going to be hard to justify how much of the cap space T. Higgins is even
when
pulled
you're
the
one
wide
of the
receiver.
cheaper owners in the league, and that's what they're notoriously known for being. That's the issue, and I think we're seeing that on the defensive side of the football is a lot of those guys they didn't want to pay. Jesse Bates being one of them. Will they pay Hendrickson? They should. It's 17 and a half sacks this year. That's the most in the league.
Yeah,
So,
I think that the Bengals didn't have an indoor practice facility, and it gets brutally cold in Cincinnati later in the season until a year or two ago because the owner's like, I'm not going to build one.
Yeah. I'm worried about T. Higgins, right? I mean, he's a great wide receiver.
The splits when him and Jamar played last season were incredible. But, I mean, this is where the Bengals are drafting. There are guys comparable to T. Higgins this year that they could potentially pick up and still partner with, and other free agents. But I kind of lean towards I don't think T. Higgins comes back as a Bengal, unfortunately.
I heard rumors that he's got like either the Patriots or he might go to Carolina is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, Carolina's a spot, especially as we mentioned, Adam Thielen. He's been a workhorse at his age, but how much more production can you have doing that?
Yeah.
So that'd be a really good place for him, I think. And that division in general, just very winnable. We see the Bucs win it, but Atlanta's on the rise, sure, still not amazing. And then the Saints, they're in a bad spot right now. We've talked a little bit about
that. The Bucs have surprised me.
Yeah.
Like Baker's actually
Mayfield,
been lights out.
Guy that's had 8 different coordinators, I believe, in his 8 seasons in the NFL. It's very impressive what he's been able to do. We have to wrap with you here in a second, but I just want to touch on, you're a big supporter and advocate for the Alzheimer's Association. That's something that's big to me, too. Care to say anything about that?
Yeah, with our foundation, we started in 2018, and so it's been, many years now, and we work a lot with Alzheimer's Association, UPMC up in Pittsburgh that deals with a lot of concussions, a lot of dementia. We kind of work on that brain health stuff. So my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and it's rough to watch him go through. And so that's really when we decided, all right, we have a personal tie to something. Do we want to focus on this? And we have, and we've met some great people along the way, have tried to help out as many people as we can. The unfortunate part about Alzheimer's and dementia, right? There's no great why does this happen, right? And that's the tough part, and then that causes issues like how do you find help for it, right? How do you find a semi-cure?
And everything.
Yeah, so that's something we really focus a lot of our efforts towards, and like I said, we've done some great things so far, and hopefully we just continue to build it. And that's the main part, right? How do you help people, whether it's the people themselves, the caretakers, the families, but I think the biggest thing is how do you make that person that's suffering from this stuff more comfortable? Because that's all you can do right now. Mm-hmm. And so, we've been working hard on that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like we said, Ryan, you're going to be back in town March 2nd for NASCAR at COTA. Thank you for giving us the time
today. I really
today.
appreciate it, Ryan.
Really appreciate it, man. Hope you have a great season.
Thanks,
good
guys.
start at the Clash the other week. So
Thanks.
Yeah, keep it rolling, partner.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Ryan Blaney, you could go to it's going to be NASCAR at COTA.com. Check out tickets there. Check them out on social media, too. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to be making it out there myself. We're seeing you win, my man. You're doing a great job in that 12 car. Menards, Team Penske. That's our guy, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us.